なんか最近ハマっているものとかありますか？
Personally?
もちろんです。
すごい、これ見れるの？
もうグレンさんのこの笑顔が今ね、すごく伝わってきますね。
I get addicted very easily to touch screens. Recently, I changed my screen to grayscale, so I'm no longer afraid of touching the screen because it's grayscale, it's boring, and then I get to focus much more on the people around me.
もしお二人が魔法が使えたらどんな社会課題を解決したいですか？このお二人が
If there isn't enough levity, we can always bring in my daughter, who's in the other room, who's 6 years old. So.
あ、いやいやいやいや。前半大変面白いお話を聞かせていただいて、もうびっくりすることばかりでした。もうぜひ日本でもこのプルラリティを実践できるように頑張って僕たちもやっていきたいと思っています。でちょっとただ前半が私が真面目になりすぎたので、後半はですねちょっともう少しゆるいお話もしたいなと思っていて。
Thank you for that, because we've been spending all day having very serious conversations, so it would be nice to have some levity.
そうですよね。そうですよね。なのであそこにですねメンバーが聞きたいことをどんどん書いていきますので、全部答える必要はありませんので、ちょっとプライベートな話も聞くかもしれませんので、答えたくないものはもう流してください。まずちょっとお聞きしたいのは、このお二人が
If there isn't enough levity, we can always bring in my daughter, who's in the other room, who's 6 years old. So.
あ、いやいやいやいや。
Giselle can go get her.
全然いいですよ。全然いいですよ。
Yeah, she'd love to be part.
なんか最近ハマっているものとかありますか？これ面白いみたいな。
Personally?
もちろんです。
I just saw Glenn playing Civilization 7.
I love Civilization 7. I can show you it on my computer.
いや本当？見せてもらっていいですか？
If you want me to, sure.
Yeah.
Grab your computer.
すごい、これ見れるの？
シビリゼーション、街を作るゲームですよね。シミュレーションゲーム。
Not just a town or city, a whole civilization. And you can be Queen Himiko.
この本の中でも触れてあったものですね。
Yes, it used quadratic voting.
But now there's the new version. The new one came out in between. And so I can show you. I can show the camera as well. Here we go.
これは貴重です。
Do they also use quadratic voting in 7?
No, but they added it in the expansion pack.
Oh.
So we can hope. Maybe they'll use Polis in this
Maybe
one.
they'll use majority judgment.
Yeah,
You never
yeah.
know.
So this is Jose Rizal. You know who Jose Rizal was? The great author of the Philippines. And he's leading Greece in this version.
Oh.
So. But they have Japan in here as well. So. And Queen Himiko. You know Himiko? Yeah.
それはこうどういうところが面白く感じておられるんですか？
Well, civilization is very plural, because what makes civilization unique, I think, is that there's not just money. There's culture, there's science, there's religion, and they all interact in complex nonlinear ways, and you have to have a whole strategy for using them, not just accumulation, but strategic interaction between all these different elements. And it's one game where the AI in the game is terrible, actually, right now. Even though AI has mastered so many things, they still don't have an AI that can even play like a fun game with you in Civilization. So anyways, it's a very interesting puzzle because of its richness and diversity and plurality, and it teaches you about history, which I love as well. I learned many civilizations from it that I'd never heard of before. I wonder, do you know who Aksum was? The kingdom of Aksum? You know what that is?
I have no idea.
It was ancient Ethiopia. It was the first Christian kingdom in the world.
Wow. I was in Addis Ababa and they seem very Christian to me, so
Yeah.
maybe that has
Yeah.
something to do
Yeah.
with this.
Yeah.
グレンさんはもうこのゲームを通じて世界中のさまざまな文明についてまたこう知識を得ておられるわけですね。
And my 6-year-old daughter as well has been learning about it. She knows civilizations that her mother has never heard of. She talks about the Majapahit of Indonesia, medieval Indonesia.
Amazing.
So that's plurality.
For me, I have been into Time Shifter. It's a app that I enter my ongoing travel because I go to a different time zone on average every 4 days. So jet lag, not a problem for me. Because if I enter my flight into Time Shifter, it shows me from tomorrow, I have to take caffeine, but avoid light. And then starting somewhere in the afternoon, avoid caffeine, but get some light. If I follow it very accurately, then once I land at Rome in Italy, I will have no jet lag at all. So this is how I travel the world.
I'm following this as well because after this, I go back to Boston for 2 days, and then I go to Switzerland, and then come back 3 days later. So similar to Audrey.
So being free from jet lag really improves my willingness to go to random places around the world.
Which is a mandate I've imposed on Audrey by making her part of this book and giving her a very talented but very rigorous speaker agent.
Yes,
So-
it's my job in Taiwan is called Cyber Ambassador at Large. At large means I tour around the world. And cyber means to steer, as in cybernetics, it's a Greek word. Steering around the world, that's my job.
Alma's going to come join us. Alma, take off your headphones and your pad. Here, Alma. take
We're
off
all
your
wearing
headphones.
headphones. Maybe she wants to wear it too.
Come. You want to come join the interview? You can be part of it, Alma. No, not with your pad and headphones. Take them off. Come join the interview. Here, come. You can be in the interview.
はい。今はどんなことをされてたんですか？
What did you do on your iPad, Alma?
What's my show?
What show were you watching?
Awa.
You can tell them about it.
I'm watching Awa.
Can you tell them about horrible histories?
Awa.
Do you want to tell them about horrible histories?
Awa.
What's Awa? She loves a show called Horrible Histories, which is a British show from about 20 years ago, all about different periods in history, but like pulling out true things, but that are kind of weird or embarrassing or funny, like how they dealt with sewage, in medieval England. And this is her favorite show now, is to watch about all the different crazy things that happened in different places in history.
もうグレンさんのこの笑顔が今ねすごく伝わってきますね。本当に世界の文明がお好きなんですね。
Yeah, I do it. I love Alma even more.
何かおすすめのこの文明、この今までご覧になった中でこれ面白いよっていうのがあったら一つ教えていただけませんか？
From the game, with the civilization
もう
within the game.
何からでも結構です。
I mean, I think one of my favorites, and it's very connected to Taiwan, are the Polynesians. They're some of the most remarkable people, and one I've learned a tremendous amount about plurality from. There was a Polynesian man who they picked up on Tahiti, James Cook did, and he had never seen a written word before they met him. And he managed from memory and what he'd inherited to help Cook build a map of 2,200 islands in the Pacific, 1,800 of which were later verified to exist. And his directions were purely relational. So there was no notion of north, south, east, west. Everything was you go from this side of the island where this grows, and you follow the wind a certain number of days and listen for various cues, and then you arrive at this other island.
That's cybernetic feedback, navigation, steering.
So it's a totally different perspective than top-down, objective, Western understanding, and yet it was enough, even without writing, to allow him to identify 1,800 islands. And people didn't believe this could really work until about a decade and a half ago. They used these methods to go all the way without any modern instruments from Hawaii to Tahiti, 3,500 miles or something like that.
It's said that many of them started from Taiwan. the eastern side of Taiwan.
It's believed that that's where they go. And in fact, if you look at the family of the Austronesian languages, there's more linguistic diversity across different sides of Taiwan than there is from Madagascar to Easter Island, 8,000 miles away. So that's why they think Taiwan is an origin of all these people.
この多様性というのは今に始まったことではなくて、本当にこの長い歴史の中で作られてきたものなんだなと今感じましたね。また次の質問が来てますけれども、さまざまな文化を知ることで自分の中にどんな変化が起きると思いますか？
Yeah, in Taiwan, the word Taiwan, started as a Austronesian linguistic word from Siraya. It means to converge, the place where mountain and river meet, where the sea and the basin meet. So it's a place of convergence. So to me, the name of our country, or Zhonghua Minguo, I translate that as a transcultural republic of citizens, because Hua is culture and Zhong is in between. So in between cultures means transcultural. So to me, it is a way to build an identity that is not strictly about nation state. It is kind of a nation that is built on an identity that's transcultural rather than just cultural. So the more culture that enters Taiwan, the better Taiwan becomes. And that's what Taiwan, the place of meeting, is. It is also written in the book, in the Yushan chapter.
And for me, recently I've been studying a lot comparative religion. I've been working a lot on how to bring religious perspectives into technology. And I've learned a great deal from Shinto. I've learned a great deal from Taoism, from my own Jewish tradition, from Catholicism. Each one of these has, and as well as from Islam, each one of these has brought, I think, very important and profound insights and very different insights, all of which show aspects of what we need to think about in technology design that are too often left out or hard to express in the language of science or economics. And so that's something that has enriched my work as a technologist greatly.
どうしても僕たちは自分の生まれたこの国家にとらわれてしまうし、自分の信じた宗教にとらわれてしまうんですけれども、いかに他の国家を知り、文化を知り、他の宗教も知り、そうすることによってまたまさにトランスフォームでき、ブリッジがかかってね、広げていけるのかなと思いましたね。ちょっとまた次のプライベートな質問が来てますけれども、もし1日丸ごと休みがあったらどんなことをしたいって今想像されますか？
I would love to have an interview about plurality with my publisher.
読者の。
Yes.
Well, I had my birthday just this week and I had a choice of what to do. So I have what economists would call revealed preference. And I went to the 2025 Expo but in Osaka. But I only got a little bit of time there. So I would love to have another day to spend there, maybe to go and see more of the pavilions. The World Expo, I think, is one of the great things that occurs in our world. And to have it here in Japan, which I think is such a beacon of the future, meant a lot to me and was really fascinating.
いやもうこの話の流れから言ったらね、グレン様絶対万博好きですよね。もう世界中のね、いろんな国の展示がありますからね。グレン様は多分一番好きな、展示会じゃないかなと思いますけどね。先ほどオードリー・タンさんに見せていただいたジェットラグのね解消ツールもすごく面白いんですけど、もう今世界中を回ってこのプルラリティの話をされてるんですか？
That's correct. The other thing that I showed as part of that view is that it was in grayscale. So I used to avoid looking at touchscreen altogether because it pulls me in. I get addicted very easily to touchscreens, which is why I never touch a screen for a very long time. Because Otherwise, if I go to many places in the world, I always feel these places themselves are not interesting. The screen is more interesting. However, recently, I changed my screen to grayscale. So for the past few months, when I tour around the world, I finally feel the people around me are more vivid than the screen. So I'm no longer afraid of touching the screen because it's grayscale, it's boring. I touch it and it's gone. And then I get to focus much more on the people around me. So even though that I change time zones every 4 days or so, I don't feel disoriented because the people that I meet in person anchors me in that culture. And this is a kind of feeling I've never had before I turned my phone grayscale.
そうなるとね、次にぜひお聞きしてみたいのが、世界中をに行かれてどんな場所でインスパイアされたっていう、何か一つあるとすると教えていただけませんかね。
I was extremely inspired when I was visiting the Milaikan. It's been 2 times. I visited the first time briefly, and this time as part of the film, because people from Australia is making a documentary, and it features me, and they want me to interact with technology. So we went to Milaikan, and I never expected the quantum computing being explained in such an easy way. So I put on this DJ set and modulated the qubits. There are 3 qubits using the quantum gates, and very intuitively understood superposition, entanglement. Those very obscure ideas are immediately understood. 5 minutes is all it takes to play that DJ set. So I was very, very inspired by Milaikan because it shows that technologists and everyday people are not like 2 ends. Using design and art, they can be brought together and create things very easily. Even people like Alma can easily understand that.
なるほど。これもまたね、技術、このテクノクラウドっていうのをね、本の中に書かれてますけど、技術で非常に進んだ人と遅れた人と、またここが分断が起きやすいところですけれども、やっぱりここもオードリー・タナスさんはここはブリッジがかかることをとても喜んでおられるんですね。
Exactly. So it's not just bridging across cultures as we talk about, or social issues, ideologies, but between specialized field and everyday people. I think this is one of the most wide divides in the Western society. And we can all learn from Japan and Milaikan and Team Lab and many others to how to cross that gap.
そういう意味ではこのシビリゼーションのね、ゲームも、ある意味あまり文化を知らない人がね、これを通じてたくさん知るという意味ではブリッジなのかもしれませんね。
Yeah. Another inspiration for me from popular culture recently has been the film The Wild Robot, which is an American film, but it's very much based on Japanese animation. And it's about a robot who was made to obey orders, who's left in nature and ends up taking care of a young goose, a gosling, as we would say in English, and ends up leaving behind the notion of obeying orders and defending nature instead. So it's quite a remarkable film. I really recommend it.
最近日本でやってたやつかな。あれじゃあちょっとぜひ見ます。
My daughter loves it as well.
Yeah, I think that answered that question. We can go to the next one.
そう。好きな本、映画などありましたらというのが次の質問なんですけれども。
Yeah. I'll add a book, a more intellectual book, which is The Romance of Reality by Bobby Azarian. It's a fascinating book that's sort of popular science, but it sort of leads up almost to a proof of the existence of God using complexity science as the foundation. Quite fascinating.
And on the not so serious end, I would recommend the book Any Human Power which is a young adult novel. It's like a fantasy fiction of plurality. Takes the same idea, but write for like young adults, teenagers, in a way that people reading fictions like Lord of the Ring or Harry Potter. So it's like plurality in Harry Potter form, called Any Human Power.
そこからこう飛躍した質問が来てますけれども、もしお二人が魔法が使えたらどんな社会課題を解決したいですか？何かこう今気になっている社会問題があればもし教えていただきたいです。
I'd like to make religion and technology friends rather than enemies. I'd like to have people be able to talk about religion in the development of technology, and I'd like religious people to be using technology to help people experience transcendence and wonder.
And I would do the same with magic. So making magic and society work together, like the Harry Potter and the method of rationality, which talks about how to apply magic and the scientific method together.
ちょっとそのテクノロジーと宗教がこううまく共存しているというのが私の中では全く今イメージがついていなくて、まさにこのテクノロジーというのはサイエンスでありロジックであり、でもこの宗教というのは信じることであり、実在しないものかもしれないものであり、これがこう一緒になれるっていうのはこうどんなイメージをこうお持ちなんでしょう？
Well, religion is inspiration, it's imagination, which is so critical to technology, because one part of technology is the mechanics, and another part of the technology is the vision. And so much of what we've been building has been driven by impoverishment of our notions that lie behind imagination, and things that think that science itself can provide that imagination. But the deep wisdom of so many traditions, animist traditions like Shinto, monotheistic traditions like Islam, these are the visions I think we need to have driving, where steering the wheel of where science can take us.
宗教もテクノロジーもこれもしかしたらマジックもそうかもしれない、この人間のイマジネーション、ビジョン、そういうものから生み出されてきたもので、これは実は共存しうると未来をちょっと感じさせていただきました。本当にありがとうございます。そのお二人がこう未来について社会について考えるのはどういう場所なのかと、どういうところでよく考えられるのか、それはお風呂の中なのかトイレなのか、こういう話しながらなのか、どういうところでこのお二人は考えるということをされるんですか？
On airplanes.
いやそうなの
I see like the cities and the basins, the rivers, and so on from a very high altitude, and then it gives this overview effect. What seemed like very long distance suddenly seems short. What seems like very disparate entities seems integrated. So it becomes very easy to imagine a holistic future once you're in a high enough altitude. This is known as the overview effect.
なるほど。やっぱりこう離れて俯瞰してみるという感じですかね。メタな視点というかね。それがこう思考につながっていくわけですね。グレンさんはいかがですか？
And I think for me, almost the opposite. I live on a lake, and I like to paddleboard. And when I paddleboard, I see turtles, as well as waterfowl. And when I paddle down the river that connects to the lake and see the turtles and the waterfowls, I reflect on the futures we could have.
本当に身近なものをこの亀を見ながら大きなものをこう想像するというそんな感じですか？
Yes.
またこれが2人が全然違うので面白いですね。 未来の子どもたちに伝えたいメッセージが、あれば、これから育ってくる次世代の子どもたちにもしメッセージがあれば、いただけませんでしょうか。
When I was young, I did not have the luxury of pursuing perfection because of my heart condition. But then I learned, if you are so perfect, there's no useful feedback other people can give you. They can just clap, but nothing more. But if you are imperfect, that's an invitation to make friends, to ask for feedback. We publish to public domain, even just at outline stage, this group of works that eventually collected into a book. So the essays from Glenn, or the initial ideas from me, many people saw them. And some people find issues. The way we describe Taiwan, for example, the history, many people are not happy about the initial sketch. But then we invited them into co-authors. And then if you look at the Yushan chapter, you see like many different views interweaving into one another. If we publish and then ask for a submission, that never happens. But if we release as draft the imperfect versions, then we always invite this kind of collaboration, sometimes with very surprising collaborators. So my message, quoting Leonard Cohen, is this: ring the bells that still can ring. Forget your perfect offering, for there is a crack in everything, and that is how the light gets in.
このオードリー・タンさんのようなね、非常にこの優秀な方が、自分はパーフェクトではないと自分のことを思い、そして周りの人たちと、フィードバックを得ながらコラボレーションしていく。これはとても強いメッセージだなと思いましたね。実は私もですね、完全な社長じゃないので、僕も毎年ですね、自分が戦略を考えるのではなくて、俺こんなふうに思うんだけどどう思うって投げるようにしてるんですね。でその方がたくさん意見が集まってくるので、結果的にはいい戦略ができる。僕が実力がないからこそみんなに聞いてみて、でもそれが僕にとってはとても楽しいプロセスですね。ありがとうございます。
I would say very similarly, most of my strongest collaborations have come from people I initially very strongly disagreed with. Danielle Allen, who is one of my closest collaborators, I met because she invited me to a seminar at the Institute for Advanced Study to rake me over the coals. And Zoe Hitzig, another very close collaborator of mine, I became collaborators with because she was the most aggressive person questioning me at one of the seminar presentations of my first book. So that is often the most fertile ground for working together. And I think the worst fate for someone like me or Audrey is that we end up in the canon of the future in the way that, for example, our founding fathers in the United States did. Because Thomas Jefferson wrote on you'll see on his memorial that it says, while I am not in favor of constant revolutions, it would be as inappropriate to have our Constitution for the future as it would be for an adult to wear the coat made for him as a child. And I hope others will really take to heart that for us, that to see whatever we've done as an invitation to creativity and not a solution to problems.
なるほど。このまさに、反対する意見の人にも心を開き、そこによって次の時代にまたより良い社会を残せるような、こういうクリエイティブなマインドをね持ち続けておられるんだなとそういうふうに思いましたね。ありがとうございます。じゃあちょっと僕の感想をシェアさせていただきたいと思うんですけど、 とにかくお二人はですね、もうその分断をくっつけようとくっつけようと、とにかくいろんなものにブリッジをかけようと、そうされてるんだなと思いましたね。でそれがまさに今この分断の時代とね言われるような時代だからこそ、こういう発想の方々が必要で、僕たちもそれを理解して広げていかないといけないんだなと。このブリッジをかける、違うものに対してブリッジをかける、これをぜひちょっと心に刻んでですね、私も布教者の一人としてね、多くの人に伝えていきたいなと思いました。今日お話を聞いたので、この難しいと最初思ってましたけれども、随分立体的に、深く理解できるようになってきましたね。お二人がこれを書かれたその思いみたいなものをとても感じることができましたね。今日のね、ぜひ動画とともにね、またより多くの人に見ていただきたいなと思います。Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for convening us for publishing and sharing this idea. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
ありがとうございました。
ございました。
Yes. If I have a day off, I'll go on and do this for another day.
Yeah, exactly.
フィードバックをね